Now that the rain basin is in the ground, we mark the location that we'll be excavating for the downspout filter. Place the filter on the ground and outline the unit with the can of marking paint. Excavate the hole to a depth of 18 inches. Form straight walls and a flat bottom. Next, pour a 4-inch layer of gravel in the cavity as a base for setting the downspout filter. The gravel base will allow the water remaining in the filter after a rainfall to percolate into the ground. Please note that the downspout filter unit does not come with the percolation holes pre-drilled. If desired, drill out 1 or 2 of the 1/8-inch holes that are marked on the bottom of the unit. The filter should sit level side to side and front to back. Backfill the sides with loose dirt, but be sure to leave the front outlet exposed for connection of the drainage pipe. When the unit is securely installed, dig a trench from the downspout filter to the water storage basin. The trench depth should start at the same level as the outlet of the downspout filter and gradually slope away toward the basin. To function properly, a minimum 1-inch downward elevation change is recommended for every 10-foot run of drainage tile. Next, line the trench floor with gravel. This will help with excess water drainage. Install a section of 3-inch or 4-inch non-perforated drainage tile securely to the barbed outlet on the downspout filter and lay the pipe in the trench. Place the other end of the drainage tile over the exposed liner and bury the discharge point with boulders and gravel. Finally, secure the drainage pipe by backfilling the trench. Insert the fine debris net into the downspout filter and place the lid on top. Cover the surface with a thin layer of large, decorative gravel to help blend the filter into the landscape. Decide on a location for the gravity-fed overflow infiltration and mark out the area. Using a pair of Aquablox modules as a guide, trace around the units and excavate the area to a minimum depth of 30 inches. In preparation for installing the overflow, clear the discharge area of the basin and excavate a trench for the pipe. Using a pair of scissors, cut a small hole in the liner and install the bulkhead fitting. Next, thread a slip fitting into the bulkhead for the overflow pipe. Using PVC cement, coat the inside of the fitting and the outside of the flex pipe. Connect the pipe to the fitting and hold it firmly for a few moments while the cement cures. Once set, lay the pipe in the trench and backfill the area with dirt. When excavation of the infiltration area is complete, line the cavity with underlayment and fill the base with gravel for drainage. Place the Aquablox on top of the gravel base and wrap the pipe and cubes with the excess fabric. Backfill the sides and top of the wrapped Aquablox with gravel and the remaining few inches with soil for resodding the area. Overflow infiltration sizes will vary based on RainXchange system capacity and annual rainfall. Refer back to the written instructions for more specific details. The setup and plumbing of a RainXchange system will vary depending on the type of water feature and the decorative item being installed. Use the written instructions provided to configure the pump and plumbing assembly. Feed the kink-free plumbing through the hose tail and lower the pump into the vault. Use barb fittings and clamps to connect the plumbing for a decorative fountain. Refer back to the installation instructions included with each decorative item for proper plumbing procedures. In this application, instead of solely using gravel to support the urn, small paver bricks were used for extra height and stability. Use barb fittings and clamps to connect the plumbing assembly to the base of the feature. Once set, use gravel to hide the plumbing and provide extra support. A decorative urn requires a standpipe to function properly. Connect the pipe and use a water meter and hose to begin filling the basin. As a good starting point, and depending on the season, we recommend filling a new RainXchange system to 1/3 of its capacity. Note that a spigot is provided and should be installed near the snorkel vault. in order to easily access water from your RainXchange. Refer back to the written instructions for more details. Adding an optional booster pump to the RainXchange allows the end user to access high-pressure water from their rain basin. There are two different booster pump fitting kits based on the type of RainXchange system purchased: a decorative fountain or a pondless waterfall. The installation process is basically the same for both applications, with the exception of the type and diameter of the pipe and fittings used. Note that the booster pump is not weatherproof and should be housed in a protected enclosure. Refer back to the written instructions for alternate housing and plumbing requirements. In a decorative fountain application, we tap into the main water feature plumbing line by cutting the kink-free pipe and installing a barbed T-fitting and ball valve with the hose clamps provided. Once the location of your booster pump has been determined, cut a length of pipe to size and secure it to the open end of the plumbing assembly. Run the supply line to the booster pump location and install the union provided. A union is included to allow easy removal of the booster pump for service or winter storage, and should be positioned as close as possible to the pump's intake. Secure the union and install the provided spigot to the discharge of the booster pump. Once the spigot is attached, open the ball valve near the plumbing assembly to provide water to the pump for priming. Next, open the pump's priming valve by turning the red knob counterclockwise until water emerges. Then reclose the valve. Check the pressure of the pump by turning on the attached spigot. Connect a hose to the spigot and the booster pump is ready for operation. Be aware that the pump from the main water feature must be running in order for the booster pump to function properly. Once again, refer back to the written booster pump instructions for proper installation procedures in different applications. Edging is an important step when installing the RainXchange system. Trim the excess liner and wrap the aqua blocks to protect the basin from soil erosion. Bring in topsoil if the goal is to resod over part of the basin. Otherwise, use gravel for edging and incorporate several boulders to help naturalize the area. Finally, bring in some mulch and clean up the area. Now you're finally ready to turn on your new RainXchange system.